Traveling druid from the Arashari. Playing Keyleth in our game, we have Marisha Ray.
Hey guys, how you doing? Oh, it's like a powwow.
You can hear this a few times.
Oh, it's every time. Oh, what? Oh, what she said. Yeah, you can't hear anything back there.
I'll be louder.
It's echoey. It's too echoey.
And finishing up our wonderful Ladies Critical Role, we have, who's currently been in New York for a while and occasionally hopping in for our game, our wonderful gnome cleric of Sarah and Ray, Ashley Costume.
Hey guys! Oh yay! We get to see you in person. Where are we all gonna be?
Just lay out across.
Just
It's
like,
awesome.
oh, Ryan's just gonna lay down. You know we are.
Oh yeah, we've already got this figured out.
Yeah. Should we scooch the? Yeah. Should we go forward or backwards? Shares forward.
Ladies, you
People
decide.
forward. Shares forward.
Forward, so they sit.
I think we'll pull back so they can sit like that. Or, no, never mind. I'll have been usurped.
They have to stand.
All right. Next up, let's bring the boys critical role
They have
in.
like.
Starting with the emotionally broken Tinkerer Guns. The emotionally broken Tinkerer and gun creator in our world. We have Percy, played by Taliesin Jeffrey.
I brought snacks. Hi, everybody. Oh, wow.
Hey!
There's so many of you.
Are we going to be throwing snacks out at them for most of the panel?
I'm going to be throwing snacks, possibly this water bottle, anything I have in my pocket.
Prepare to be pelted.
Randomly. There's going to be no rhyme or reason to it. You might just get beamed in the head with you get a snack. You get a snack.
Next up we have the rage-driven, muscle-bound Goliath in-game and in real life, Grog, played by Travis Willingham.
I would like to reign! I was like Joey Drama from Entourage. Hi, guys! We're going to stand back here and be awesome. Wow, look at all these people sitting around. What's up?
And next up, we have the sly, loin-girding, beautifully singing gnome bard, Scanlan, played by Sam Riegel.
What's up, Paul? What's up?
Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday, dear Scanlan! Happy birthday to you!
We have coming onto the stage now our delightfully bumbling, arcane-using, dragonborn sorcerer, Tiberius Stormwind from Draconia, played by Ryan Akaba. As he finds unfortunately, Liam wasn't able to join us today. He had a family emergency. So I think positive thoughts out to him today.
Yeah, everybody send good vibes. Send good vibes.
But regardless, thank you for having us. We're excited you guys could come here. So we'll give a little bit of kind of overall backstory to us, and then we'll go into a kind of a Q&A session with the rest of you guys out there. So,
Hey, who's that dork? No, it was me.
That spooked me. I didn't know that was going to happen.
For a second, I thought you were doing that thing where you thought you saw someone you knew, and you're like, look at that dork. I mean, hi, I don't know you.
Yeah, so for those who may not know and just wander into this chaos, we're a group of voice actors who've been playing a single campaign of Dungeons & Dragons for a number of years now, and we've been doing it for about 6 months on Geek and Sundry's Twitch stream, a show called Critical Role. And oh my god, we got a bunch of people periscoping in now too. Hey everyone! Across the world, we have our Kiwi and Australian friends out there too, I can see. But yeah, anyway, so that's kind of our deal here, and we're happy to be here. Let's throw some food at them.
We're gonna throw food at you.
Just like throwing it. We got critical rollers. They're critical rollers. Did anybody try them yet?
We're not allowed yet.
Are they good?
They're not rolls at all, but
They're actually cookies.
we're fine with that.
That's good.
It's fine.
That's a distance of There we go.
I feel there's something that feels very wrong about throwing out.
I feel like we should get dexterity checks.
Stove. Travis, aim for stove in the back.
All right, that's good for now. That's good for now.
Kind of enjoying throwing
You save
food at
something
people.
Not very aerodynamic.
In the back, no.
You are.
They don't have a lot of heft behind them.
Watch as we just like pause. We want to tear each
Take
other
on someone's
apart.
eye.
What are we gonna do today, Matt?
We are going to open this and see if you guys have any burning questions for us, and we'll see where the stories carries from there. So, Razor, she was right up there. First question,
Wait,
yes.
how are we gonna do this?
I'll go over there.
Okay, Tiberius.
Thank you. So I have a question for you guys. If your character could be in a Broadway musical, what would the plot be and how would it end?
Oh my
So, if
god.
my character could be in a Broadway musical, what would the plot be, and how would it end?
Matt's would be the entire background.
That's a really long question.
No, way to blow our minds right out of the gate.
Actually, there already is it's not a Broadway musical, but it's an off-Broadway opera by Tom Waits called The Black Rider.
Very similar to
Yeah,
Percy.
that's all. It's all about a guy who gets a magic gun and it ruins his life. Yeah, Tom Waits is The Black Rider. It's great. It's based off of a German opera, Der Freischütz. I don't know. I know that because of Helsing. This is what I know.
There are so many mysteries around you, Percy. All these things
Yeah, he gets some
showing up
magic
now.
bullets, and then he ends up shooting his girlfriend. It's really sad.
Oh, really? That's
Spoiler alert!
By Wallace, it's awesome.
Nobody
Very German.
ship Percy with anybody.
I rolled one higher. I will foreverly be bitter about that.
I have one. I think Grog would play Gaston in Beauty and the Beast.
That's a good job.
No one fights like Grog does. That's it.
I guess I would say I would probably be the Hunchback of Notre Dame. You know, alone in his castle, singing all the time. Is that a show? That's a show, right? Come back to me. I have no idea. Be Peter Pan.
What about cats?
I don't
You could be
know.
cats.
What?
It's all right.
You could be cats.
Be cats, only with draconian.
No. Actually, you could be Jesus Christ Superstar.
Good. As I say, I'll be Lion King and I'll be all the puppets.
That's cool.
All of them.
Oh, I could be Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Oh yeah. Put just the Dreamcoat.
Just the Dreamcoat part.
I'm trying to think of something with twinsies. I can't think of anything. Wicked? Oh yeah, I'll be Elphaba and Liam can be Galinda. Perfect.
I'll be Spam-A-Lot, but I'll be the entire cast of Spam.
You're a puppet master.
Yeah, those of you that are good at fan art, this should give you material for days.
Awesome. You want to pick the next question?
Me? Who's that question? You. I'll come over there and say hi to you.
Why, thank you. I was wondering, in terms of playing D&D, kind of a question for Matt and a question for the group, because as the group, you guys get to bond and be like, we killed a beholder, we were so awesome, and Matt's like, I gave you a beholder. Like, that's a little bit of separation. So I was wondering, when you're playing with friends, Matt, as a DM, how do you make sure you're not too distant from the players, and the players, how do you make sure Matt's part of the bonding of the gaming experience?
We never see each other anymore.
Does Roshan
Well, from my
He's always
perspective,
planning the game. That's why.
no, well, there is an aspect of it. There'll be times where I'll just be, be in the middle of a conversation, I'll kind of stare off into space, and Rich will be like, "Are you okay?" Yeah, no, sorry, I just had an idea for an NPC. Hold on. Write it down. I'm always in that state of like planning whenever I have free mental capacity. Honestly, I don't think there is a separation. There can be, depending on how you play the game. I definitely don't play a DM versus players game, because I think that tends to lead to some separation. I like to provide challenge, but also provide, immersive story, and in a weird way, just providing that in itself is a connection, a different kind of connection, but one that I enjoy.
And at the same time, a lot of the NPCs that you do play end up becoming, friends of the party. So while, you are the enemies a lot of times, you're also Alora and you're
Lady Kima.
and you're Clarota.
Lady Kima, yeah.
That's kind of creepy,
We're awesome.
We're a progressive bunch.
Hey, by the way, we should take a second and introduce a special guest that we have here. She played Zara.
Oh, yes.
Deeply Rushweed.
It is weird because we'll talk after the game or during breaks and stuff, and we'll be like, "How did we do on that? Are we doing good? Did we almost die?" And he's like, "I don't know. Did you?" We're like, "Should we have done this?" And he goes, "I don't know. You certainly could have tried." He doesn't tell us anything.
Except you did tell me I could have died when we were fighting the Briarwoods.
Well, I want to let you know that finger of death spell, it's called that for a reason.
I didn't know he did that spell on me, and I was like, 66 damage, that's a lot! And then later on he told me I could have been dead, no saving throw, dead.
Sorry.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
And I thought I was saving Max, and then...
Yeah, you almost died.
Yeah, no. Spooky magic.
And then the only real difference is there's like a little chunk of your house we're not allowed to go into now.
Yeah. Really. I have this little corner that's filled with miniatures and maps and planning stages, and whenever someone would come over and start running upstairs, like, wait, going for like a...
That's the room of secrets.
Mary Elizabeth has a question for us. What's the biggest surprise that we've given
The
back?
biggest surprise they've given me. Well,
I love you, Mary.
one, not just finding Clarota, but that early in their Underdark excursion was unexpected. And what was essentially going to be played up to be one of their first real encounters with a dangerous Illithid was this one rogue, Arcanist Illithid. Didn't turn into a battle at all. They managed to convince him under circumstances to join them, so I wasn't expecting that. Clarota was not intended to necessarily be an ally. It just played out that way, for his own purposes, obviously. And
Obviously.
Hey, we used him as much as he used
It was
us,
helpful.
all right?
I still think he might have been a good guy.
You literally have a hole in your skull.
Bad.
You literally have a hole in your skull.
Bad fish face man.
I will say having a squadron of flying cows going after a rock was a big surprise. And back stealthing in after the Briarwoods on his own was definitely a surprise. I was like, okay, all right, let's see where this goes. Sorry.
Which, by the way, I don't think there's ever been a moment closer to causing real life stress in the group. We all left that game and we were all like, really, Liam? Really? All right, man. Guess we'll be saving your ass next game. Maybe.
All you had to say was Jenga. Jenga.
It's a code word.
We had Jumanji. You never.
Jumanji either.
You can always tell if you look at your eyebrows too. Sometimes he'll roll dice behind his little border, and he'll go, what was that? What was that? Like if the eyebrows go up, you're okay. If they go down, you're like, shit.
Sometimes he'll just be talking and then you'll see him roll for no reason. You're like, what did he just what even is this?
You're clearly giving us long-term damage. We're becoming such paranoid people.
Or the other effect of when your map rolls a lot. It's like one.
It's like
one of
click,
the- It's like
click,
No, stop.
click.
Stop. One stop. Roll. Stop. Roll. 1 to 3.
You start to try and guess which dice he's rolling. We're like, that's pretty light sounding. Sounds like D4s. We might be all right.
Wow.
Sounds like D4s.
I've never
That's all that. Oh yeah.
Deep cut perception there.
It's all audio.
Oh, it's B12. That's not good. Impressive.
Extrapolation.
I trained you well.
More questions? Yes. Ashley, you want to pick one?
Here we go.
We'll give you some of you folks in the back there too.
Hey, this is kind of for all the players. Is there a race or class that appeals to you the least as a player?
Anything that involves a lot of math. Spells.
So Dragonborn for you would be enough.
Yep, dude.
I think probably just a straight fighter like appeals to me the least. Just because I always want some cool special thing. Like that was the very first thing I told Matt. Like I wanted to pick my thing because I wanted a pet. I was like, what class can I be that has a pet?
Ranger.
Or druid at the time.
Yep, it's true. Because we started in Pathfinder and moved over into 5th edition D&D.
I personally, I would say, as far as races go, I would just say elf, because it's, in all the games of D&D I've ever played or DM, it's the most used race in the game, because everyone wants to be an elf, and that's cool. But there's a little part of me that's like, give the dwarves some love. I love me a good dwarf, so I love them all for different reasons, but that's probably the one I'd be least tempted towards for that reason.
I find I tend to stay away from humans because I'm like, well, I'm bad every day.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go with. I feel like I would also be too nervous to play a sorcerer. I mean, I just feel like the sorcerer's just so much there. But yeah, I feel You have a lot of like I would spells want to too, be a though. human. I do, but not like him. I would want to be human.
I think humans, and I have an aversion to gnomes. An aversion to gnomes. I've made gnomes cool, baby. And by cool, I mean really not cool. My mind has been changed.
I don't know, I played a sorcerer in my last game and I was just tired. It was fun, but I'm like, I don't want to think that hard. I want to be able to just pull a trigger and not think about it. But yeah.
Next question.
You pick it.
Me?
Oh, no, Travis already picked it. You get it?
Travis, you pick her. I'll do the mic thing.
So it's a little sad Liam isn't here, but I wanted to talk a little bit about what happened with the Briarwoods and when he thought he was going to die. Obviously revealed a little bit of a fondness for Keyleth. Was that something you guys were already aware of, or was that suddenly revealed? And how did you guys react off camera about that?
He's not here to answer, but that moment where he was sort of like laying it all out, I don't know which part, where Liam ended and where he was feeling some real emotions there, but I did not know how close his character was with Keyleth anyway. It was surprising.
Me neither.
Keyleth still doesn't know.
I literally,
Keyleth
I
still
know you
doesn't
don't know. Every time you do something in the game, I'm like nudging him like she doesn't like you.
Vex is
I think she
totally
likes
onto
Percy
him.
more than you.
Vex is totally onto him.
Oh, yes.
You've been with him your whole damn life.
Yeah.
How long before Bax sends a piece of notebook paper over to Keyleth and says, "Do you like me?" Circle yes or no.
Or maybe.
Or maybe.
Yeah, let's put maybe.
Written in finely scrolled blood.
Somebody sent Liam, did you read this yet? Because you sent it last night. A fan story from Bax's perspective about he and Keyleth.
No.
Yeah. And so he sent it because Vex shows up in the story. So he sent it to me and you. And I started reading it and I was like, I can't, and then I get to the part about Vex and I'm like, she's all pissy. I'm like, yeah, she is. Yeah. And then it gets back to the sweet stuff. I'm like,
I think that's what I'm most terrified about. Like, if any of this comes to fruition, because who knows if he's ever going to say anything or confess his feelings. If any of this comes through, I'm most terrified of Vex. I'm most terrified of the sister wrath.
I don't know why.
Let's go and get a question. Let's go over the far end over here. You there. Yes, hello. Yes, you, Laura. That's fine.
Run over, Percy, run over.
Do you ever find yourself subtly pushing D&D on your non-D&D friends?
Ask Mary Elizabeth.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It's
Do we have non-D&D friends anymore?
I push it on everybody.
we don't have non-D&D friends. We have pre-D&D friends. Well, no, I mean, role-playing games are not for everybody. I feel if anyone has a flair for the theatrical, they would really enjoy it. I think people who love storytelling will enjoy it. And if a person even shows a hint of interest, then I'll go all evangelical on them. They won't like walk in the room and be like, "Hey, well, nice to meet you, Steve. You ever rolled D20?" I don't get too intense about it, but if someone says like, "Yeah, D&D, I hear you do this show. What's that about?" I'm like, "Oh, sit with me a moment."
We should start taking the player's handbook door to door saying, "Hello, have you heard the good news about Dungeons and Dragons?"
Oh, that'd be rad. I have like some nice black slacks and a bicycle helmet with like a dragon airbrush on the side. That's gonna be awesome.
I find myself more and more often, instead of saying, "Oh yeah, no, I'm a voice actor for a living," I'm just like, "No, I'm a professional Dungeons and Dragons player."
We actually told that to our Uber driver going to the airport to come here. So what do you guys do? Really, we're professional Dungeons and Dragons players. And he just went, "Oh."
It's a far more interesting conversation.
Yeah.
It
To
really
be fair,
is.
he thought we were in a band. And we're like, no, not that cool.
Other side of the spectrum, buddy.
Technically, Vox Machina is a band.
Sure.
We've been all thinking about learning instruments. It might be kind of a lot of. We
It's
could
like
go
the
talk to
monkeys or
robots.
something. We have
Yeah.
like Archie moments where we just all start
Yeah, we
playing.
have Jim in the Holograms
That's kind
episode.
of what, oh my gosh.
Yes, yeah.
Marisha's going to be
Speaking my
getting a
language.
guitar any day
Yeah,
now.
key look on guitar.
No.
Drum dog and cowbell.
Oh, you're dressed as a cow!
I just got that. Wait, is that considered a cowgurumi?
She's house
Hi, everybody.
That's amazing.
That's commitment. That's commitment.
Oh, it just keeps going. It never ends.
It hurts.
Alright, you want to pick one?
Yes, Lisa. Stand up.
Just roll the choice.
What? Two questions, short. Yeah, go.
What do you think of having Jack Black play with you guys?
Jack Black? A+.
Yeah, totally.
Everybody here to like with me or like kind of pitch D&D to someone who has played D&D?
That's not the question.
Can you pitch D&D to somebody who hasn't played?
How would you pitch D&D to someone who
It's an
hasn't
improv show with dice.
played? It's communal storytelling with chance.
Watch Critical Role.
I picture that Jack Black is going to play Critical Role.
Or Vin Diesel?
Vin Diesel.
Actually, that's the way now they'll be like, look, Vin Diesel plays it. What? Which, by the way, guys, that video I think is coming out next week. So.
It was so much fun.
Awesome.
Next question, Samuel. Sure, I'll go pick. I'm just gonna start walking. I'm just gonna walk.
I think we can get to everybody.
Weird eyes.
So try to.
I don't have a question though. I have gifts.
I have a question for Matt. How did you go about creating the world of Critical Role? Like, where did you start world building? Kind of like the beginning of the
Good question.
Goal scored 7 years ago.
That's Abraham Lincoln.
If this was a 4-hour panel, I could give you the real rundown. I'm planning to possibly do some videos coming up soon that kind of go over like stages and tips for DMing, like a series. So hopefully we'll have that coming out in the near future. But honestly, I started as the one shot, so I just created a single town. That was Stillbed, the first city they had their first adventure in. It was this kind of swamp town on the eastern side of Taldore before Taldore was Taldore. And it was just a swamp town. I broke down like a few factions within the city. There was, the shipping merchants, there was the textiles merchants, there was a small mercenary kind of band of people that had a job board and took care of small odd jobs. So I built out just different factions that people could work in that would establish a community and an economy essentially. Then I drew up a small map and just kind of made up building shapes and then eventually gave them names. It was like, this one will be a warehouse, this one will be a tavern. And then from there I just made a short little story in that. And so I built it from a small city and then expanded and then expanded and expanded from there. So don't feel like if you're going to start a world, you have to start like, where do I start? This is too much. Just start at a small place. Like when you're drawing somebody, you just pick a place with a face and start from there. Let the rest of it come around. So I started small with a small town and then just said, well, what's near there? It's a coastal side. Okay, does that mean there's a swamp nearby? What else might be in the swamp? Ooh, like a dark cave would be cool. Oh, and like, a day's travel out of that swamp, there might be a trading post that splits off into 2 different roads. Okay,
And then he starts thinking about the tax structure. Is it a flat tax? What's the government like? Is it a elective representation?
Well, eventually you do get to that point because you have to have some sort of governmental structure for there to be any sort of political intrigue.
Sewerways, plumbing, the whole thing.
Yeah.
He knows what the local drug is, like the drugs. Like
There are 2 illegal substances that are
illegal substances, yeah.
sub-traded in Iman, yes.
Really?
Oh yeah, man.
What do you think the class makes a lot of its money from?
Scanlan would know what those are.
Whoa, really? You guys haven't been tired about that, yeah.
Caitlin mentioned doing the
I thought we
Allure
learned
route.
about one of them.
You mentioned you learned about one of them.
She essentially did like an ayahuasca tea.
I feel like it might have been before the show.
It was before the stream, I think, yeah.
We're totally metagaming
Oh,
right
that's right.
I know.
Like the drug. That's right.
Well, you probably heard these
Like
things
we
in
talked about
passing.
something.
I mean, there is a video that we're working on right now that's essentially an extended kind of a wrap-up of the entire campaign previous to the stream. It'll have artwork, like we commissioned 48 pieces of artwork from Wendy, or one of our
So
amazing artists in the
beautiful.
show.
So awesome.
This whole group's doing narration for it. It'll be really cool. It's just taken us a while, just a lot of art, but it'll be coming up hopefully very soon. So that'll help keep you guys kind of catch you up on everything that's happened before. Cool. Awesome question. Let's go that guy right there.
I got this.
We still have 30 minutes. We're good.
Oh my god.
We have time to get there.
Thanks, by the way. Oh, that's a lot louder. What's your favorite story from before you guys were part of Critical Role? So that Pathfinder edition. So yeah, just a favorite story from there.
Favorite moment before the stream?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Winter Festival.
Yeah, Winter Festival.
Winter Festival.
Winter Festival. We had, I don't know if any of you guys heard about it. I mean, at least for me. So we had, I feel like it was Liam's idea. It was Liam's idea. And then he didn't end up getting to be there. But we were like, okay, let's have a winter festival around Christmas time. And then we all got to their house, and Laura had put on this like little tablecloth that was like white and sparkly, like it was a winter wonderland. And then we wore pajamas, and we made mulled wine. And then I was like, this is the best thing ever. And then, yeah, we
spent like an hour exchanging
presents.
RP exchanging.
RP
like
exchanging presents. And I got a pair of pine cone earrings from Grog. Like literally, he had made pine cone earrings and gave them to Ashley. It was just amazing. And then we fought a white dragon.
Yeah.
You killed it. I got a critical hit. It's the only one that I've ever gotten. So I think that's probably why I love it.
The only one was killing the white dragon.
And I have a little. It's under my armor, but I have one of the teeth of the dragon with the necklace underneath. Yeah.
Dragon Slayer?
I got like a bag of extra IKEA parts from Grog. Do you remember that? That was spectacular.
What about you,
I
Richard?
think he gave me beef jerky. I think that's what he gave me. Yeah.
I remember smelling really bad, and you're like, oh.
Still one of my favorite moments, and Travis is gonna hate me
Oh, it's that one.
for bringing it up again. But it was when you slapped Trinket on the ass.
That was a great moment. That was amazing. I almost got divorced that night. We were in some room that had a bunch of trap tiles on the floor, and Laura's like being all pensive, and she goes, "Oh, Trinket."
We're like,
I had already gotten through, and I was trying to figure out how to get Trinket through all the traps.
Ron gets bored. I took the flat end of my axe and went whap on his ass, and Matt goes, "Okay." Trinket takes off running.
every single track on the way through.
Just like getting hair blown up. I was watching him run like.
If you've ever seen a 6'4" man shrink to about 2'3", that was the moment that did it.
The dragon came alive.
Yeah.
And it has eyes made of fire. Appeared for my life and my soul.
What's it, Nora?
My favorite moment? I think, it's so sad now talking about it. It was when we got the magic carpet. We stole it from Alora's tower. We had gone and like snuck up into her tower. It's all falling down and crumbling, and we're all like falling to our deaths, and all of a sudden we like are trying to like grab this carpet that's flying as well. Yeah. And we're like, let's grab the corners and maybe we can use it as a parachute or something. And as soon as we grab it, Matt's like, roll for an Arcana check or use magic item check. And it was like, yeah, and it like flew underneath us, saved the day. We went and picked up everybody. It was amazing.
That was spectacular.
I think you can find a clip of that on Liam's YouTube. Or
Yeah, Ashley, it's the video that Ashley made. Huh?
Oh, it's the one that you made.
No.
It's gone, Ashley.
No, we have it. It's just a carpet now.
It's a carpet.
It's pretty tapestry.
We still have the carpet, but it's not.
It doesn't work. I mean, it's a carpet.
It's dead. It does nothing but tie the room.
And we tried to get a reenchantment. Actually, it was like 50,000 gold. Was that it? 50,000 or was it more than that?
Approximately 50,000 gold.
Don't worry, I got a plan.
Speaking of which, what's your favorite?
My favorite moment is the infamous thing that you described last time, where Tiberius essentially saved Grog from the giant fall thing.
Yeah, there was a moment where they were underneath the ground and they were fighting an Umber Hulk up in a subterranean cavern above a large cavern that was like a 170-foot drop, and they had to go up to the top of this little area to try and fight it. Grog was then going to try and throw it out there, but it got initiative and it bull rushed in and pushed Grog through the hole. He then took enough fall damage to go from full health to negative like 15
I was trying
hit
to like
points.
bullfight the thing, you know, like Toro, and move the flag, but it took me instead.
And then the Umber Hulk gets pushed out after him, and so now they're all up 170 feet in the air. Grog's unconscious with a partially damaged but still alive and hungry Umber Hulk on this little island in the center of a subterranean.
Well, before that, the way that happened was he knocked Grog down. I used Aquasphere and I grabbed him and I lifted the dude up.
Butthole.
And then I dumped him through the hole.
Yes, you did.
And I did what was that, like 75 something damage to?
It was good.
And then I did the Gandalf dive.
Yeah, and then he did the full, like we're talking, Gandalf Balrog descending from the thing. He just dove off towards him and had to make a concentration roll to cast Featherfall or he would splat. And he had a 35% chance of success or death. And he took it and he made it. And it was awesome.
I got to stay.
Cool.
I got to stay my concert.
Exactly what you needed. You rolled like a 15, which is exactly what you needed. Yeah.
It was the one time I was like,
I will say real quick, I also really enjoyed the first time me and you were Grog and Minxie. When you gave me the name Minxie in my pet form, that was great. Yeah, we were doing an intimidation thing. And yeah, he gave me the name
That little water
Minxie.
nymph was also kind of nice too.
He's gotten to a lot of
Y'all don't
things.
know what happened. You weren't there. It was just me.
Got taken through like a portal into another plane and
by another
potentially
plane,
boned
the
a
living
fairy.
room.
I don't know.
For a private session.
Fey Wild of the living room.
that's something I sort of miss about our old games.
the secrets?
Matt would take one of us away for a while. Like if one of us rolled high perception and the others, he would take us to the kitchen or something and just tell us a secret.
We'll forgive you if you walk away to do that.
Can we do that on the
We'll
screen?
forgive you.
Then you guys won't know
We
it.
can have a separate stream,
That's
a separate
fine.
channel.
Meta chat room will be added
Oh
in.
my god, that would be amazing.
Oh,
If
well,
we
we
can-
could always like Periscope.
Yeah, no, we can totally Periscope it. That would work really well.
How about a Periscope right now?
Yeah, if we could work out a way to have like a floating camera or something we could periscope separately.
To be fair, the audience will get us in trouble though, because they've been known to like tweet things.
That's why you don't look at Twitter while we play. We do not. I mean, we do.
Some of us do.
We play.
Never. Travis, what are your favorite moments?
Oh, I particularly enjoyed when Sam leaned over to me. We had entered a fighting tournament, and in the first round of this tournament, we were fighting 5 wizards. And Sam leans over and goes, "I'm gonna conjure a pony," and then he whispered to me, he said, "Sam conjures this pony before the fight starts. I take my axe and I chopped its head off. I reached in and smeared its gore all over Sam, and we just started to scream, and the 5 wizards were like, oh.
So we got a surprise attack on them because they were so scared out of their mind.
Even Matt didn't know it was coming, and Matt's expression was just like...
Well, what's worse was Matt is describing this pony, and he's like, all right, so from the distance, a majestic white pony materializes and gallops up to you for your aid. What do you want to do with the pony? I'll chop its head off! What?
Alright, roll intimidation check. That'll do.
Cameron's got good ideas.
Sometimes. You have really good ideas.
Sometimes terrible.
Sometimes.
I go invisible.
All right, let's take more questions. Let's go to these people.
Travis, you want to pick one?
Yeah, aperture hat.
Yell it out!
Or not. Just yell.
Are you wearing a camera on your head? It is. That's awesome.
It's like, it's Google.
Are you a cyborg?
It's Google Glass.
Is there any moments from the show that you wish you could have done something different? Like you did one, tackled a thing, someone had. You wish you could have done it otherwise.
Totally. Yeah. Yes.
All the time.
Yes. Those are my favorite moments. I like it when we mess up. It's so fun.
It's like 5 weeks of Hunter's Mark that I know that you
I will note to
Hunter's
you guys.
Mark.
Well, note to you guys, part of the game, and I try to instill this with our game, you can see it in there. Critical hits and critical successes are awesome. Critical failures can also be awesome. Embrace the failure. It's so much fun for storytelling.
Sam, you had the best pregame critical failure that we've ever
What
had.
did I do?
The stained glass window.
Yeah. I did a cool move. I was charging in for the final kill. This guy
He had like 3 hit points left, the bad guy.
I jumped. I did like an awesome slow-mo jump. And I just rolled like a 1.
I think it was your first time actually deciding to physically attack an enemy with your like sword. You're like, this is the time I'm pulling it out. This is the time for Scanlan to shine. You had like a whole Inigo Montoya moment.
And he literally...
I jumped through a window.
The guy just sidestepped and went through a stained glass window into Rose
I dipped. It was bad. It was bad. There was another moment too where I was super stealthy and I was being a badass and I took out my whip for something and it made a noise. And we all died. All right. Other question.
I actually, yeah, you've had your hand up for ages. Yes. You with the blue hair.
I don't have blue hair.
So do you guys ever find yourselves like in normal day-to-day activities, like, I don't know, almost like wanting to make like a check or like rolling to do something?
Yes.
Yes.
I do that while on dates. Explains a lot.
A lot of ones.
I have noticed I'm trying to like haggle more.
Wait, was that from your character? I thought that was from you.
I did a little bit, but I mean, it's definitely like, if anytime I'm spending money, I'm like, now it's really weird.
She'll give him the look too. Like somebody will mention a price and she'll go, I'm like, it's not the game. It's not the game. It's actually the price. It's actually the price.
I was with my boyfriend Brian. We were here at a market where they have like all the antiques or whatever. And then we were there, and I was like, man, I wish Vex was here. And I was like, oh, Vex is not real. I mean, Rory is here. I was so sincerely like, gosh, where is Vex? And I think about that all the time. I forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry,
I have a friend who rolls a d20 every morning. I'm trying to remember who it is. It's a mutual friend.
Real good friend.
He rolls a d20 every morning just because for that 1 in 20 chance he gets a 20. He's like, yeah, critical day.
Good day.
Yeah. I said, you roll a 1, and then like, what do you do?
I have honestly, like at home, looked at my palette dishes and go, prestidigitation does not work.
One day.
We do have a D20 on our counter, and we were just like looking for a house recently, and I picked it up and rolled it to see if we were going to win it. And we didn't. It predicted the future.
Dice knows all. Another question? Right front.
I'll get you next.
So, a two-part question. First of all, are there any of you going to see Liam tonight at all?
I think we're
potentially.
It's very maybe.
He's here.
Secondly, last episode we saw had an interesting moment between Grog and Vex when Vex was totally not in danger, but Grog grabbed her anyway. Is there
That's
something
right.
developing there, Grog?
No, that's just Grog not paying very close attention. I thought that it said that Vax and Vex were falling off of the
And it was Vax and Scanlan.
Vax and Scanlan, so I grabbed Vex for no reason.
I was like, I'm
They do
fine.
kind of look alike. It's an innocent mistake.
And she was like, oh, you care about me. I'm like, get off me.
Grog, I didn't know you felt that way.
I don't.
My favorite has been though with just being public and with thousands of people watching us now. The fan speculations, like anytime the characters have a moment together, it's like, oh, they're into each other. That's totally a thing now. It's totally a thing. It doesn't matter.
No, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, the whipping tail. That's what I got.
I will say I do enjoy going on like Reddit or different boards and seeing all the fan speculations about like the Briarwoods and story stuff, and I'll just go through and be like, that's actually pretty close. That's totally wrong. That's interesting, but wrong. You paid attention. Nice to the detail. Like I'll go through and actually read it. I'm like, it's kind of cool seeing everyone's conversations about it, and like as a storyteller and as a DM, I don't know, it's really fascinating and kind of fulfilling to see so many people that engrossed in the story that I made up, and I'm like, oh, wow, I better put a lot of thought into this. No pressure.
Don't screw it up, Matt. No, that's not funny.
There's no pressure. There's no pressure like going to write your story for a role-playing game and realize that you're going to have essentially hundreds of thousands of people looking at it going,
Lame. Lame. Oh.
Yeah, here lately, after the surgence of the Percy and after the Percy Lilith fan art that started hitting, when people started shipping
Oh my God,
Percy
I
and Lilith.
love that.
I know, it's so good. The art's so good. So we were like, okay. So the first one that Joma did that came out, where it's Percy leaving the room
Yeah.
with Lilith on the bed, and we were like,
so high.
oh yeah, we were like, oh, that's really hot. And Matt's like, but not canon, not canon, not canon. Cut to Matt being like, although it could be a thing where like maybe Percy was staying up late and he was like working in the shop, and then Lilith comes in and she sees him and she's like,
oh, yeah, no,
like you're doing
that's-
this, and then he's like, and then he's feeling a bad day, so she kind of touches his cheek, and then they go up to them, and I'm like, are you writing fanfic? Are you writing Percy Lilith fanfic right now?
It's only canon between the players, and if they choose to express that.
Okay,
So is it
God.
canon?
Canon?
Yeah.
What did Percy do last night?
I do not ship and tell. You guys. No. Uncouth.
Question, there's one over here. Yes.
Well, first I would like to say how much I love you guys, and I'm a twin. I am actually a twin, and I play Pathfinder. So my question is actually for Taliesin, because I know you started as a Dragonborn. I'm curious where the transition happened, where you decided to be the gunslinger.
Honestly, the gunslinger happened just because of the group. It would be probably Matt and I are the two people who've been playing since high school. So I've been doing so much tabletop for so many years that I was kind of, I thought it was just going to be a one-off. So when we did the one-off, I was like, what is the best character I can take to just make sure that the party is well balanced and everything's fine. I just kind of wanted to, I kind of got brought into the game as we need someone else here who knows what they're doing so that everybody can kind of see how you're supposed to deal with things and get an idea of how to play. And so when we started the full game, I'm like, we've already got a Dragonborn. I don't want to like be muscling in on that. What's something I've never done before? And it was a brand new class that I'd never heard of. So I was like, oh, okay, that's weird, cool.
I'm usually iffy when it comes to firearms or higher end technology in a fantasy setting, but I like the idea of Percy being.
I pitched it well.
He brought to me as the person that creates the first firearm, essentially, and like the possible social ramifications of that, if not.
Yeah, it was a
cool
weird
idea.
short story I'd written like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I was like, I'm fascinated that somebody had such a bad idea at some point. Like, it's great.
Awesome. We got 10 minutes left of this panel. We'll probably try and get you some questions for as many of you guys as possible. I'll go ahead and say, you in the way back with the vest. I got you.
Hi, I'm Radicavo from Draconia.
This question's for Matt. I love your NPC character from Iron Powder Avenger.
Oh, the Black Powder.
I was just curious if you had it like in your back pocket or if you just totally rigged that and how you go about your NPC.
That, like many NPCs, was completely pulled out of nowhere. You know, I try and prepare as much as I can, but I also don't have enough free time to entirely populate a city of tens of thousands of people just in case. But that's also what I think is fun for me as Dungeon Master is when the players put me in that position where I have to think real fast and just kind of create a personality on the spot. And that one, I was just thinking like, well, black powder is not generally, like in a few seconds into think, black powder is not in use for much else than like just starting to be utilized for its explosive capabilities, especially in this city, which is much more of a religious-based one. Who would be using black powder? Somebody crazy. Somebody who's probably generally not looked upon favorably from the locals, and that character just kind of came out of it. So, yeah, that was not planned. That just kind of came out of nowhere, and apparently has stuck in the minds of people.
It was awesome. I love it. I love all your characters, but I especially love, I mean, you do so many different accents and stuff, which is great, but I love when you play American guys. Yeah. I'm an American guy. It's like a British actor trying to do an American accent. It's so funny.
You get to a point where you're trying so hard not to overlap.
Yeah.
But you only have so many characters and so many voices, and trying to distinguish between like natural speaking voice and a little bit different from natural speaking voice. Yeah, I know. I see what you're saying.
It's awesome.
Hey, good question. All right, so we can post a few more. Lori, I'll pick one.
I see Muscle Wizards cast Fist.
Yeah, Muscle Wizard cast Fist!
Yeah.
Sorry, I got
This is for Scanlon. What's your favorite pre-stream poo moment?
Pre-stream poo moment? There were none. No, the poo came organically out of me. In the stream, I'm always open to new experiences, and I saw a bed, and I wanted to poo in it. No, there were no. I don't think I ever pooed upstream. No. Is that true?
How come he didn't get in trouble and I got in trouble when I wanted to poo on the other bed?
Well, that was just gross.
How's it gross if I want to take a...
You are a beautifully religious person who cares about
It's
the
not
world.
that you were in trouble. It's that you were already in kind of rocky water with Sarah Gray. And then watching one of her few devout followers decide to just go ahead and corrupt somebody else's sleeping space.
Wow. That's incredible.
I have gifts too, but they're a lot smaller than that.
That's so awesome. By the way, we love all of the art that you guys do, but also, of course, we appreciate all of the things that the fans have sent in and stuff, and Christmas, and so thank you guys. And I see a lot of you are wearing the shirts and stuff, so we appreciate you guys. The critters are the best fans in the world.
Yeah, serious. So.
What do you think, man? One more question? What time is it?
We got about 6 minutes left, so let's go
Couple
through
more.
this. So we get through these pretty fast. We get as many as possible.
Right.
Yusa. So the charity event we did for Extra Life, which was $500 donations they allowed to alter the plot. Well, originally it was supposed to be just a message from the chat room to Zach that he could hear that would alter his elements of it. It very quickly went the other way, where people were directly influencing the exact moment, and it kind of worked out for the better that way because you guys had more of an influence, and it was chaotic, and it was mind-numbing. It was hilarious. And it was hilarious. I think from a charity standpoint, it was a great idea, and it's fun for an occasional thing to do. As far as an actual continuous campaign idea, you can't sustain that. You can't. People started like, okay, now a little boy steals the thing. Okay, now all of a sudden a creature attacks you. By the end of it, it's like, now everyone's level 10 and they can shoot lightning from their anus and they can turn into giant griffins that shoot planets from their face.
10 wish
How am
posts.
I supposed to incorporate that? Really? Yeah, the escalation, it'd be hard to maintain for anything more than like an occasional one-off. But it was a cool idea, and I think it worked out pretty fun for the charity.
Yeah, that game made me appreciate our game.
Yeah.
I got a question here.
I don't think you appreciate this question, but for Marissa, how long did you think Edna was going to be leaving late?
Give me that! No more questions for you!
Edna, I needed to roll a character for the Vox Veronica game, and I'm like, oh man, what am I gonna do? It's gonna be something outrageous because it's these people. So it's like, what if I have like an 80-year-old woman who's like, you know, husband's dead and not Mike, asshole. So I thought it'd be funny to have an 80-year-old woman who decided at like 80 that her husband's dead, her kids all have families, and she's decided she's gonna go to mage school. And then so I told Matt that, and he was like, only if at the very end she decides to go meet up with the broker. And I was like, oh my god, yes.
I was kind of joking, but then you said
I was like,
yes.
nope, that's it. And then so I was like, what spells did she have? Give me her, what was she? And yeah, so she was designed at the top to be Edna.
All right, see if we get two more questions if we get some quick. You have an idea.
If you guys had a chance, would you make like an animation of your adventures from the stream?
So the question is, if we had the chance, we want to make an animation of our adventures from the street.
Yes.
As in an animated show?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
Would it be awesome to have an animated show? Geek and Sundry? I hope the people who are important are watching.
No one's here. By the way, is that Trinket? Is that
No, it's just a wood.
I don't know.
That's the original
I
character.
I barely pay attention to Trinket.
If you paid attention to the Twitter stream, you'd know.
The answer is definitely yes. We would love to. It would cost a lot of money and take a lot of time, but if somebody was willing to do it, yeah, we'd do it. Heck yeah. Let's go. Who there with the pink hair?
Who would win in a fight?
It's all
Tiberius.
And like, what kind of fight? Like, is magic used? Is weapon used? Or is it just fists?
Everything.
All out?
Like Smash Brothers? Smash Brothers Vox Machina?
Yeah, Ryan's got the fireballs.
I believe I would win.
Matt would win. It's a sad truth. It's Matt always wins.
That's in the mix. Then
Honestly,
forget it.
all of it would lay on to who got initiative.
Can we
Because
do that?
well, think about it. Because if Scanlan got initiative and the dominated person Tiberius,
Counterspell. Silence. Counterspell. Silence. Fire.
silence is a reaction, and you have to roll off for the dominate person.
6th level counterspell.
Can we actually do this? Like the next time we have like a charity stream or something, and we can just do a roll.
That's a really good idea.
And it won't be canon, of course. We won't like legitimately, but just like in an alternate universe, we're all like League of Legends. We all get teleported to this
It's
arena.
Critical Role Danger Room. It's Critical Role Danger Room.
Yeah. We should do this.
Let's totally do that.
Next time
You
we
know,
need an idea.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think Pike would win because I would kill everyone, and then I couldn't spare her.
Like the end of Hunger Games, and then we would just act like we were going to eat some berries. And I would kill you.
Actually, now that I actually really think about it, in a serious strategy thing,
you're scary.
Pike would be the biggest threat to Tiberius. Because you have divine magic, which is like, you're like, fine, here's your fireball, here's my god.
Magic, though.
To be fair, also, like, it's hard to shoot magic at something you can't see. And so Vex and Vax do a little bit of benefit.
Greater invisibility.
Yeah, we need to do this.
It can go on. Just total speculations.
Cloak of
I
distortion.
think Orion's going to be like
I'm still gonna be
planning out this
disadvantaged to
brawl
everything.
now. Every waking moment.
It's gonna be so much fun. I think I would die first. I'd be standing there with my axe like, I'm screwed.
I think the first round of combat we've all decided is now the entire team against Tiberius. And then the rest of the fight.
That's true. If we all start like teaming up against one person, it could get ugly. Man, there's a lot of ways this could go. Good question. Good
That's a
question.
good question. All right, guys, we're at time for the panel, unfortunately. But what?
We have a signing.
We have a signing at 6:15.
Where?
It's at wherever the major signing place is.
Between 25 and 26?
25 and 26 are the two signing areas we'll be at 6:15. We're going to be we'll be signing at 6:15 today. Come by, bring your stuff. We have many awesome exclusive posters here for you guys.
And if you still have questions, I'm sorry we didn't get to everybody. If you still have questions, like we're not going to be like rushing people through Supercross or anything.
Right.
So yeah, come talk.
Plus tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow from 2:30 to 4:30 at Forbidden Planet Comics. Big old comic store, not far from here. At 2:30 to 4:30 tomorrow, we're having a big critter meetup. Signing more posters, meeting up with you guys, signing stuff. So
Free entry. Yeah. You guys want
let's do it. We're going to got some critical roles to end this out.
Just for our own sanity, can we get a raise of hands on who thinks they might be there tomorrow? Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to say half of those might be for cookies and half of those might be there for tomorrow. Maybe I picked the wrong time.
Come on, Matt.
Critical hit. Yeah, fire routine.
Fireball!
I have to do it at least once.
Do you guys have time to stay for presents real quick, or should we go later?
Thank you guys for watching. Please continue to watch.
Very cool. Thank you.
Thank you.